Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're looking at set 21332, LEGO Ideas, the Globe. Now this is bigger than I thought. This is practically a 1-to-1 scale of a globe. The nice thing is everything that you see that has printing, like all the labels on the continents, as well as on the plaque down at the bottom, this is all printed, including the compass that's on the globe. And so that was really, really nice. Now, the one thing I didn't expect is all these labels that are on the globe are actually built on or made on glow-in-the-dark pieces. So if you shine enough light on it, turn things off, it looks a little creepy, but it also really pops and stands out. One thing I didn't talk about in the article was how they actually achieved the stand's curved arch. Now, the way they do it is they have to do a lot of reinforcing, and every segment uses locking hinge, actually a set of 2 locking hinges for every joint. That actually achieves the actual angle that they want for each segment. So imagine if you've ever built one of anything that had to do with like a scorpion tail, kind of a similar thing to that. Lock it, make it have that nice curve. Now, in order to reinforce it and lock that in place, they use swivel hinges, which are these little bumps. So they have one on each side. Now, the interesting thing about that is they're turned so that they're opposing to how they normally turn. That means that they can achieve the angle that's wanted, but because they're not able to move, it means that they're then locked in place. So that was a fantastic use of hinges to make what is essentially a very solidified curve. And that's very important because despite the globe being hollow inside, it's still very heavy. You have a very big Technic frame that consists of 16 panels. So the center of this is made on 6x6 plates, and you have 16 of them. Now, from each plate, you then make a curved panel framework, also built on Technic, and it alternates between having wedged plates and straight plates. So where one panel is straight, the sides to the left and right have wedges, and then vice versa, swaps back and forth until you have this whole globe look. So that is, it's not a complete sphere, it's a 16-sided figure made extra round. Now, one thing that does pop up, and it was actually the first question I got before I even built this set, is why are there tires inside the globe? Well, in order for me to explain that, you have to realize most people, when they see a globe, the first thing they want to do is grab it and spin it. If they didn't have the tires, you'd have a lot of friction, and it'd probably just do that. It would be not very satisfying. So you needed something to overcome the friction of the weight of this globe and where it actually touches onto the stands. Those tires allow that extra weight so that with the spin, it has something to work with. And with a spin, it moves for a while. So that is actually very fascinating. I never really thought of using tires as a ballast weight to achieve what is essentially a very simple effect, but it needs to overcome natural weights that exist within the model, because normally you don't make a model of this size and still want it to move. So that's what it's doing in there, and tires make a very great piece for that because they're naturally denser in their own construction, because it's all rubber and it's not like hollow pieces like you'd find in a brick or a plate. So that's why they're often chosen as ballast weights. We saw this similarly in the Haunted Mansion for the flywheels. On the back of that, there are gigantic weighted wheels. Well, they're wheels, so they're dense, and they help grab the weight and then disperse it, because that's how flywheels work, whereas this is rather different. Now, the only problem with this set, I was excited for it when it first got announced, and then I immediately froze up when I saw the $200 price point, which is what it was before the price hike. Now it's $220. At $200, this feels like a little bit much. It is purely a decorative piece. The problem I see is the fact that if you just go out and buy a globe, you're probably spending a fourth of that price for a real globe that works and gives you a ton of information. All the information on this globe is abstracted because it has to, in order to, well, just use regular Lego plates and tiles to simulate the various continents. So you lose a lot of utility from a globe, and 4 times the price? Yeah, you're purely buying this as an artistic piece. And don't get me wrong, it looks fantastic from every angle. Plus it has the added feature of underneath there are rubber tires so that it doesn't slip, because this is a rather weighty set. So it's nice to have something that's very secure, looks chic, but that $200 plus price point, I honestly would tell people to avoid this, despite the fact this is a fantastic build, because building the interior framework of this was using techniques I hadn't seen before. How it anchored the center thing in 4 places to help give shape, how it built the curved elements, how it utilized the ballast weight, how it built the curved stand. This is a great build experience. The problem is the afterwards, you're not as impressed as you might be with, say, something like a fairground set that actually works, or an IP that you can really relate to and say, you know, this is my favorite intellectual property. This is the globe. It's a thing, and it's more expensive than a normal globe. So, yeah, I can't in good conscience say it's going to be the best price, but it is a fantastic build. It looks great, looks very sophisticated, and I can't say that about every Lego set, and it was a fun build. So hopefully you fit in that category, because I don't see Lego reprinting this one, because I don't see it also flying off the shelves. When all the other new sets that were really expensive coming out, this one never sold out. It never got really back ordered or anything. So yeah, it's probably going to have one print run. So if you're an investor, heck, it might be a decent investment set to hold on to. But for everyone else, it's nice to see someone else have it. So there you go. Again, this is set 21332, Lego Ideas, the Globe.